Hi, this is Frisky-Dog, the barbecue wizard, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Bye-bye!
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike your match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things that are important to the world of barbecue and grilling. This show originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evenings, a live fire fun and frivolity show. If you would like to get in contact with the show this evening, or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here's how you do all that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at bbqcentralshow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. All right. Stand by. I hear you. Hand can. I don't even know what the hell that is. All right, stand by. Let's go here. We got to go to input. We got to go. All right, stand by. We're going to get there. And now we should be in full left and right. Is that right? Haniel? Am I good? I don't know what happened there, but let me show you since you're watching. So now I'm in channel 1 here, and for some reason, where was I looking at before? In my panorama right here, I was all the way over here. I didn't want to be all the way over there. So now I pulled it up to... Maybe that wasn't where it was in the first place. I don't know. Hold on. EQ, compression, the sends, the main... Yeah. So I don't know why I was all the way over to the left, but... Nevertheless, Haniel, official sound engineer of the show, happens to be in the chat, caught it. Somebody else told me about it last week, but I have subsequently forgot. And he's the only one that could look at a nightmare like this and go, oh, yeah, of course, it was this thing over here that was crazy. He knows what all this means. He knows what all that means. I barely know what it means, but he sure does. And that's why one of us is the host of the show and the other one is the official sound guy of the show. If you need an official sound man of your show, then I would suggest teaming up with Haniel Trisna, who is a real-life professional touring sound guy with all the latest and greatest best acts. I think he's done front of house for Taylor Swift. A number of other really big acts. I don't know if they're bigger than Taylor Swift, but I know he's done it. So, Haniel, appreciate the lookout as we get going here on April 28th. So you might be wondering what's happening on the show here this evening, and I'm happy to tell you. Coming up in about 10 minutes from now, maybe 9 minutes from now, believe it or not, is the creator, founder, and overall inventor of the World Food Championships and my pal, not yours, Mike McCloud. If you didn't know, the World Food Championships had its final table. So I'm going to say, well, it wasn't this past weekend, but it was the weekend before. So it's one of those weird, like just over a week ago, I think we want to say that. So shortly, they had a final table, and it has concluded, and we have a World Food Championship winner. We're going to be talking about all of that. We'll be talking about Brightwater. We'll be talking about some other things that are going on in the world of Mike McCloud and promotion and putting on of great live fire events and or close to or just touching the realm of live fire. If you're a longtime follower of the show, you know that Mike and I struck up a relationship back when he was brought on by the then Kansas City Barbecue Society as their marketing arm. Believe it or not, I mean, all the way back then. And we have been having subsequent interviews ever since. And it has been a delight. I believe World Food Championships is going, was it just the 14th year? I believe it started in 2012 or something like that. So a now long-standing food tradition, food sports tradition, something that everybody is shooting for. If you are into the competition food world, that's something that is on your calendar every year. Certainly something you want to knock down as far as saying I took home top prize. So Mike McCloud in the first hour. Then we'll move to the second hour. It is the fourth Tuesday of a month, believe it or not. And we will have the Embedded Correspondents. So we have a incredible list and a widely diverse list of 100% assurity statements. Not only talking about what has happened over the month of the show, but we have also a lot of what some might consider to be superfluous statements that I will be making. But what we have come to know about the show is it is not only entertaining, it is not only fun, it is laden with frivolity, and certainly we will prove that out here in the second hour. As we also might have a full complement of embedded correspondents as well. So we'll see how that plays out through the course of the evening. So that's how the show's setting up. Mike McCloud in the first hour, embedded correspondents in the second hour. Don't forget you can follow me socially, which I don't suggest. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. And of course, we're saying good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can watch via Facebook, which is facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show, where we do have a new YouTube poll question of the week. And we're asking everybody this, and believe it or not, it's like 3 weeks of 3 of the worst questions, although week number 1 of 3 was the worst question. But we're asking everybody, including all guests, would you rather... I have the card right here. Would you rather your fingers always feel sticky or your throat always feel itchy? And currently, 100% of you are saying you would rather your fingers feel sticky all the time versus your throat itching. Man, oh man. I feel like I can quietly get away with my fingers feeling sticky, although I'm going to be doing this all the time, hoping that this time I do it, the stickiness goes away. But according to the question, my fingers will always be sticky, but I'm always going to be doing this because OCD. I feel like if my throat always felt itchy, I might have a tendency to want to be clearing it all the time. That is audible, even at a very low audible range. I don't want to become a new fa-fa-fo high. So I'm going to choose sticky fingers. I'm going to stay with it. So we'll keep it at 100%. We'll see what Mike McCloud says in the second hour. We'll see what the embedded correspondents say. And we'll start here this evening as we got about a minute left. Many of you writing in and saying, man, it was great to have Jack Arnold back so quickly after the last time. And I agree. Many of you writing in and saying that the energy And really the term that encompasses, that embodies Jack Arnold is the one that he uses all the time, which is vibe. Jack is on the show. Jack is bringing only positivity. Jack is bringing a sense of wanting to share what he has created with not only his immediate fans and followers and influencees through the social media platforms, but even to the Centralites and everybody else that has come across his path. You can really feel his genuine want to share what he is doing, I dare say uniquely to him. And he wants everybody to share in it. That might be a 100% assurity statement in the second hour, so stay tuned for that. It does appear Mike McCloud is in the green room and ready to go. Before we get to that, we will talk to you quickly about Primo Grills. What do we love? About ceramic cookers in general. Well, we love that they're fuel efficient, yes. We love that they can get into the low and slow temperatures. Conversely, they do really well at the rip-roaring hot heat of traditional grilling. Steaks, other thin cuts, things like this. But what's missing in your everyday lineup of ceramic cookers? The real ability to do true two-zone cooking, and that, my friends, is where Primo enters the game with a game-changing oval design. The shape gives you the ability to execute that two-zone setup that you desire, also giving you the other ceramic grill benefits as well. And when you break it down, there's more than 60 different ways to configure the Primo cooker, so you're only limited by your culinary imagination. All the accessories that you might want, sold only through stores. So you're going to have to find a dealer near you. I suggest going to the Primo Grill website and using the dealer locator. That's primogrill.com. And then once you find the dealer near you, head on out, touch and feel all the ovals, the fit, the finish. Now, just me talking, I'm suggesting XL and up. There is a double XL, which I believe is 25 to 30% bigger than the XL. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking up the double XL. If you don't, I say XL. Nobody ever complained about having a grill that's a little too big. Many people have decided they should have bought up after they decided to save a few bucks and buy down. Don't be buyer's remorse fellow or lass. Don't do that. As we say in the barbecue biz, buy the best and only cry once. Again, it's primogrill.com. That's Primo, primogrill.com. Follow them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram. Summer of Primo coming up once again in 2026. We're back with Mike McCloud right after this.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Alan writing in with this email, no body, only a subject line, which says, yes, I missed the newsletter. Alan, you're the only one, pal. What are you, 80? Newsletters? Just shoot me an email. Who's on the show tonight? You're a big fan. You know who's on the show most of the time. Including my next guest, who created the World Food Championship. As I had mentioned in the open a little more than a week ago, World Food Championships final table takes place in Bentonville, Arkansas. A new champion of food sport is crowned. Here to talk about the weekend, how it went down, and what other items are coming up over the next few weeks and months is not only the creator of the World Food Championships, but perhaps more importantly than anything in his life, a member of the 2024 Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Fame. We welcome back Mike McCloud. There couldn't be anything better than that, right, Mike?
Biggest honor ever.
Ever. That's right. That ever, of course, means everything. So we're going to take it and leave it right there. We have a YouTube poll question of the week, Mike, that we're asking everybody, including all guests. It is a would you rather, and it goes a little something like this. Mike, would you rather your fingers always feel sticky or your throat always feel itchy?
I think I'm going to opt for the Rolling Stones answer on that one. I'm going sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers, yes. 100% of the YouTube voting public, including myself, also agree.
Although all of a sudden
fingers.
I feel like I need to clear my throat. I don't know, man.
Suggestive speak. Suggestive speak.
It's like
That's
a
right.
vicarious thing.
That's right.
You just did.
No doubt. World Food Championships, as I had mentioned, the final bit of that. And I guess I don't want to just assume. I mean, certainly, I would say a lion's share of my audience, both live and on podcast, know you well, know what you are doing for a long time very well. But maybe for somebody that's tripping across the show here live or might subscribe to it after the fact here this week, what is the World Food Championships? When did you create it and why?
Great question. I'll try to give you the short answer. We decided to create a Super Bowl that included more verticals than barbecue. And we learned that barbecue teams were fantastic at creating phenomenal dishes, not just barbecue, but burgers, sandwiches, pizzas, dessert, etc. on a smoker, on a grill. When we were managing the marketing for the Kansas City Barbecue Society, we did that for about 12 years, 3 contracts with them from, I think, 2008, 2006 through 2018, something like that. And during that process, we just fell in love with competition food. We knew there were numerous World Barbecue Championships. There was Memphis in May, there was Lynchburg, the Royal, Livestock, etc. But there wasn't a World Burger Championship at the time. There wasn't a World Sandwich Championship. And we just felt like there was a clear space. And we were bold enough or stupid enough, one or the other, fine line between those two things, to venture down that path in 2010 and give birth to it in 2012 in Las Vegas. And ever since then, we've been hanging on to the tail of the tiger, trying to make it bigger, trying to make it better, trying to make it bolder. And every year we get a little bit closer to our mission. But we're basically trying to make food sport a regular thing. We're trying to make it spectator friendly. We're trying to identify and celebrate barbecue teams and home cooks and chefs. We don't discriminate. We don't really care about your background. We care about your ability to put great food on a dish. And we're trying to identify them and celebrate them in the process. So World Food Championships is what we do year in, year out. There are thousands of teams that try to win one of the golden tickets and one of the 350 seats that we have in the championship to get their chance at the biggest payday in food sport.
It is what I would term a wraparound event. So you have the World Food Championships for the last couple of years in Indianapolis, early November, and then the culmination doesn't happen until earlier part of the following year. So we had World Food Championships in the World Food Championships
October.
in 2025 or October, right? In Indianapolis, you had 10 winners come out of there, and then they made it to the final table, which was held a little bit over a week ago in Bentonville, Arkansas. So just to tail back on that for a second, why not finish it in October versus bringing it into that following year and having, I guess, a decent amount of time lapse in between the two?
It's a great question. We used to do it up until 2018. We always had the final table as the last day of a 3-day event. And as we grew and realized to really give everyone a fair shot, mathematically and operationally, it was just too big. It was a scenario where you had to go into Monday, Tuesday with your final table unless you started on a Monday, Tuesday of the week and make it an entire week of competition. So we took a page from the World Series of Poker and from NFL, and we decided, okay, we're going to look at the main event as an opportunity for people to earn their seat by being a category champion. And then we're going to take some time off, and we're going to spend 4 to 5 months marketing this final challenge. So everyone at the main event who wins a category wins $10,000. We have about $18,000 to $20,000, give or take, per category. So we give out over $200,000 at the main event, and then we take another page from the World Series of Poker, and we say, okay, you 10 champions, we need to find out which one of you are the best. Which one of you really deserves an extra ring, and we're going to put you through a new set of challenges. And you've heard me say this before. I kind of refer to it as the culinary gauntlet. To become a world food champion through our system, you have to win 6 times. You have to win once to get in. You have to win twice at the main event to become a category champion. And then you have to go to the final table, where we do an entirely new localized competition. And it's been in Bentonville, Arkansas for the last 3 or 4 years because of our partners at Wal-Mart and Sam's Club. And we customize those 3 challenges to make sure that every year they're different. And they kind of separate the chaff from the wheat. And no one can predict what it's going to take to become a champion. So for you to get through that entire process, you've really proven that you're just a fantastic cook. And sometimes that's a barbecue team, sometimes that's a home cook, and sometimes it is a proven chef or a new chef who's trying to prove that they got the chops to take it all the way.
When you look back a little over a week ago as the final table comes to an end, what are 1 or 2 of the most impressive things that you recall from that weekend?
That is a huge question. I'm always impressed with just the familial community camaraderie that comes out of the final table. Those 10 champions become almost like secondary family. They become a high school reunion in and of themselves. This year we gave out a challenge coin for the first time to each one of them and their team members, because we realized they were kind of an elite group of individuals, and they're all trying to win, but they're all supportive of each other. And to hear their stories, we come up with these thematic approaches to each one of the challenges. The first one was the Members Mark Masterpiece. It was an ode to our R&D development with Sam's Club, and we wanted to see what they could do with Members Mark everyday products, and how do you elevate it. And then we did a taste and recreate with a local chef who is an award-winning person, talent by himself, and then we did the global mashup, which was fuse 2 genres, 2 cultures, 2 cuisines together, and tell us why. Throughout every one of those, we heard a personal story that was amazing. And you can't help but fall in love with these people and root for them, even though you get knocked out of the tournament in round 1 or round 2. Even the champions who are there trying to win the $100,000 bonus prize, they start rooting for a certain individual because they just got to know them better and appreciated their story and their journey through culinary. And that's what always stands out to me, is every single time it is special. And another thing that stands out to me, we talk about food TV all the time, and everyone's trying to get on TV networks and be on shows. And we've actually turned down a couple of big time opportunities in TV because every time we get knee deep into it, they essentially want to impact the outcome. And in my world, that's tantamount to just cheating and putting your finger on the on the scales, and it just doesn't feel right. We're just trying to find the best champion fairly and squarely. We want everyone to have the same opportunity. But I'm also reminded, and it happened again this time in Bentonville, the last 3 chefs facing the 5 judges that we pulled together, who were amazingly talented judges. They each one had an incredible story, but they each one received constructive criticism from our judges that made them realize you did 98% of it amazingly, but this 2% right here, you could have done better. And during that process, Greg, it was eerily quiet and super intense. And the drama was more than anyone could ever script for a TV show. And so we're all sitting there, you hear a pin drop, and you really don't know which one of these 3 contestants is going to win, because each one of them received very instructive, very constructive feedback on their dishes. And to me, that's the other thing that stands out, is that we have this amazing TV drama unfolding in front of us that's not on TV. We're still the best kept secret in food sport. And one of these days that's going to be bust wide open. But right now it's pretty special to see that happen every year. Preston
Wynn is the guy that ends up taking World Food Championship title this past weekend, or just over a week ago. Texas-based guy, Arlington, Texas. And then we have an international runner-up, Dubai, and then back to the States, Massachusetts for 3rd place. So I would love to sit here and say I remember every winner from every year, but I would say when you have World Food Championships in the title, leading with the word world, pretty nice to have a international mix on the podium. It is, and it wasn't constructed that way. It just happened naturally. Surabi from Dubai, she was our vegetarian champion. I kind of put a star on her name in the very beginning. I told everyone on my staff, she's going to be in the finals somehow, some way. I think she's going to make it, because she's so talented. If you see her, just see her Instagram feed, you'll see what I'm talking about. Amazing talent. Preston Wynn was another one that I thought, this kid has real chops now. He's the first person who's ever won this championship twice. Up until last weekend, I was able to say, we've never crowned a person 2 times. Our system is so good that you can't repeat. And Preston proved us wrong, and he came in there just super focused and super talented. He spent the last 2 years staging all over the world with Michelin star chefs, and it shows. He, the first time he won, it was kind of a dark horse surprise to all of us. But once you peel back his story and you see that his mother and father both have culinary chops and culinary background, it wasn't that much of a surprise. But he was 19 years old when he won in Dallas, Texas, and this year he's the ripe old age of 23. Wow. But the last 2 years he's worked in London and Paris and all over the world with fantastic chefs. And even in his presentation in the last dish, he referenced Michelin star chefs who taught him a certain aspect to the dish that he created. And just from presentation alone, I was blown away. And but yeah, he was super talented. And then Dave from Boston, his sous chef was the culinary assassin, Stephen Coe, a bacon champion in our past from like 2014 or 2015, somewhere like that. Those 2 guys were on a serious mission, and it didn't surprise me at all that he ended up in the top 3. So we had Boston, we had Dallas Market, and we had Dubai in the finals. 2 years ago, incidentally, we had 4 countries in the finals. I actually, for the first time, created a loophole for a 4th place finisher, because there was a tie for 3rd and 4th. And we had Australia, we had France, we had England, and we had America represented in our finals. So yeah, we're
definitely a world championship. Back to the American roots, I was very proud of a couple of barbecue guys, 3 barbecue guys actually, who just accelerated up the ladder when they got to this moment. Mike Johnson with Sugar Fire out of St. Louis. He's a force. He's a phenom. He did fantastic. Dave Elliott, a former champion, coming out of the burger category, he did amazing. And then Al Lino from South Texas, our barbecue champion, who came through the Famous Dave's series. That guy just continues to impress the heck out of me. I think he was 4th or 5th in the program. So barbecue teams did extremely well in the system, and it's one of those things that just keeps getting tougher and tougher. And the contestants who study it, prepare for it, plan for it, just get better and better.
Is it short-sighted of me to see Preston, now a 2-time champion, and say, if this guy really is interested in now accumulating multiple World Food Championship overall wins, he's really the one to beat?
Wherever you see his name in a competition, you should take it seriously. He and his mother, probably his father too, will be in Memphis in May. She's going to be competing in live fire down there with Yoder Smokers. And if I were a betting man and we had odds in this stuff, which I think we're going to one day, I'd be putting money on them right now. I'd take 15 to 1 odds in a heartbeat, put $1,000 on them and see if we couldn't win, because they're just, there's nothing like family. And for them, they communicate to each other so well, both verbally and subconsciously, that wherever they go, they're going to be a force to reckon with. And they're studying all of the formats, whether it's live fire, barbecue, blind judging, panel judging, master judging. They're studying it seriously, and they're trying to take it to another level. Preston had a chance, and he just stepped away from it. He had a chance to have a restaurant with his own name on it at a new boutique hotel in the Dallas area, and for some reason the opportunity just didn't feel right to him at the moment. But it's going to happen. He's going to be one of those guys that you'll know him by one name, Preston.
We could spin off in a whole different conversation here, and I want to rein it in, but maybe for a different time. We talk about restaurants and chefs and stuff. From a upcoming World Food, is there anything else we should mention about Final Table, or any things you want to put a bow on before we look ahead to this year's World Food Championships?
I just really want to encourage the barbecue teams out there who haven't been in our platform, they haven't competed at WFC, to visit, come see it, because we're giving teams, I think, a better chance to represent themselves and their talents on a dish than any other platform. And yeah, it may be a little uncomfortable to be competing against chefs and home cooks, but I promise you're gonna love this platform. And being able to tell a judge what they should be tasting from your dish versus trying to read the mind of what judges are going to like today, as far as a taste profile, it's a game changer. And I don't think anyone does it better than our platform.
Anything new coming up in Indy in October we should be looking out for?
Yeah, we got, you know us, we're always pushing the envelope. We have several new things coming up. One I'm not going to mention because we're still trying to get the trademarks around it. But we've got a game changer coming out this year in Indy, and everyone's going to hear about it, and everyone's going to want to be a part of it. But the other things that I can mention, and I'm not too concerned about someone stealing, not that that's ever happened in my platform. We're really going to bring people's choice into the forefront of what we're doing. We're going to have a burger battle night. We're going to have a dessert smash night. We're going to bring back and improve the redemption round that we did. So when you get knocked out of the tournament, you've got Saturday to that storm coming through.
Wow. Yeah.
Or maybe that was God saying, yeah, this is good stuff. There comes the sound. Okay, God, I'll take it back.
Wow.
So, yeah, we've got a lot of fun, interactive, community, consumer-based things going on. And give me about 30 days, and I'll tell you what I think that the real game changer is. We're going to have a great tailgate zone. We're partnering for the first time with a pizza event. So we're going to finally include pizza in World Food Championships. We're studying it. We're looking at it from a consumer standpoint first, and then figuring out how do we back into it from a competitive, which is usually the other way.
Yeah.
For most promoters. You figure out the competition first, and then you figure out the consumer stuff. So very excited about October in Indy, and working right now on the next final table. Had a conversation about it today with another city, and actually have another conversation going on with another country. Wow. Perhaps we have the first non-American final table in 2027. So we'll see. You know me, I'm always trying to push it and expand it. Can't really talk about it until we have the ink dry and the T's crossed and the I's dotted. But we're excited about this next year.
Looking at some other things that are going on for a number of years now, there's been the famous Dave's All-Star Barbecue Challenge. I believe a couple of those events have actually come off already. Are we in for still a full load of what would be like towards the end of spring through the balance of summer docket for Famous Dave's?
Yeah, we just launched the 4th season of Famous Dave's All-Star Barbecue Series, and it features some well-known pit masters, but the other interesting aspect to it is we open it up to newcomers. The great thing about Dave Anderson is that he's been a competitive guy and barbecue guy for as long as you and I have known him, and has won as many awards as anyone. And he loves this series because we built into it a wild card program, which enables someone to create any kind of dish. I mean, it could be seafood, it could be grilled cheese, it could be an appetizer, it could be anything but a dessert. We finally decided we're not going to let desserts win it anymore, because when you have savory all day long and then you get a sweet dish, it's pretty easy for the sweet dish to win.
Yep.
But very excited. We kicked off in Indianapolis, now the home of food sport. And we just finished in Rancho Cucamonga, California. And soon I'll be in El Paso, Texas, where I met my fiance because of the Famous Dave series. We'll be there to find some more barbecue teams that want to prove that they've got what it takes to have a dish on a Famous Dave's restaurant. And that's what we're looking for. We're giving people a chance to prove how good they are at ribs and chicken, but we're also asking them, show us what you got. It's wide open. Put it on a silver platter, present it well, execute it well, and we'll judge it and see if it's going to be a menu item or at least a winner of the day. Those teams, there are 3 teams that come out of each one of those events. There's 8 events this year. They're going to wrap up in, I think, late May or early June. And we wanted to get it done earlier in the season to give the teams more time to prepare and get ready for the main event in October. So we'll have 3 teams per event that make their way into the World Food Championships, and then they'll have a chance at claiming one of the 5 seats that goes to the Ring of Fire. You and I haven't talked a whole lot about the Ring of Fire at the World Food Championships because you've been busy, I've been busy. But there's 5 teams that win through our barbecue vertical a chance to go to the finals, and then we invite 5 teams to go head to head with them. The winner of the Royal, the winner of the KCBS Invitational, the winner of the Championships Barbecue Alliance, the winner of Lynchburg. We have 5 teams that come, winner of Memphis in May. Those 5 winners come automatically to our finals in Indianapolis. And they're waiting to find out what the other 5 teams are who are going to come through our barbecue vertical. So it's a very unique program. It's more than the reciprocal strategy of where your champion at Lynchburg can compete at the Royal. We're putting them in the actual final at the Indianapolis, and this last year when we kicked it off, man, the barbecue finals were amazing. We had Brad Orson there. We had just so many good, talented cooks in that finals. You had no idea who was going to win that thing, and for Al Lino to win it, a guy that we discovered from the Famous Dave's program, was pretty amazing. But a very unique, very worthy, very fun programming element to our event.
Are you surprised that the Famous Dave event has made it to 4 years?
Yes and no. The good strategies stand the test of time. But in today's world, your marketing teams change almost annually for big companies, and for them to continue to see value in something that someone else started previous to them, that's always a little bit of a challenge. We're going into our maybe 16th year of doing work with Sam's Club and Wal-Mart, and we launched a Wal-Mart barbecue series, by the way. We're going through beta programming right now in Texas. I don't know if you know about that, but
no.
16 years we've been doing this stuff for Sam's Club and Walmart. And I've been through, I shouldn't say it that way. I've had at least 5 program directors at Sam's Club and Walmart, and to continue having programming that makes the cut year after year with the changes in leadership like that is pretty miraculous. So, we did the Sam's Club barbecue tour for 7 years. We did the Great American Barbecue Tour for KCBS for 10 years, and I think it lasted another 3 or 4 years after us. And now we're in our 4th year with Famous Dave's. So am I surprised? Not really, but yes, knowing how the industry works, it's so incumbent to think about it from a strategic perspective, but also a sustainable perspective. I know there's a lot of chatter going on now with this big barbecue World Cup thing that's going to happen in Vegas, and $1 million prize person. I'm like everybody else. I'm watching and interested, and I want to see how that works. I think a rising tide strategy is good for everyone. But the marketing guy of me in the back of my mind is constantly asking the question, okay, how is that sustainable? Can you pull together $1 million prize purse year in, year out, 5 years, 3 years, 10 years? We have the largest right now. We have the largest prize purse in any food competition, independent competition. I think even any TV competition. We've got about $450,000 depending on how you count in-kind stuff. It is hard, Greg. It's hard to pull together $500,000 prize purse year in and year out without major sponsors and provable results in your platform that makes them feel like they're getting ROI. So very curious to see what happens in Vegas, and then see if it's sustainable. Look at what happened with Smoke Slam, right? I mean, the word on the street was it'll continue forever because the guy's a billionaire. Well, guess what billionaires like to do? they like to make money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can't make money at a strategy, what do you do?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know nothing. And I believe what you just said, and I had heard through many reputable sources that, you know, the money behind it is there and long, perhaps never ending, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it was really about that at all. I think SmokeSlam wanted to come in and do some kind of hostile takeover of Memphis in May, and they lost. And they realized it was a bad look, and Memphis in May somehow got around it, or got away from it, or ignored it enough, whatever. And 2 years later, there's not a third year. So,
yeah, and I'm not, you know, casting stones either way. We did work with both SmokeSlam and Memphis in May, so we've seen both sides of that coin. But my point being, just because you've got endless amounts of cash or money, if you don't have a sustainable strategy, it really doesn't matter. You know, you've got to win for the right reasons, and I think ultimately Memphis was losing, right? Memphis was split with those two events, and one of them had to prevail because you just can't keep splitting the baby. And I'm happy for Kevin Grody and everyone at Memphis in May that they've been able to withstand that challenge. In a moment where most everyone thought they were on their heels and they weren't going to make it through. So kudos to them for the history and for the strategy that actually works long term.
You had mentioned it. I didn't know anything about it. What's this Wal-Mart barbecue series thing you just dropped on us? So Walmart is now experimenting with barbecue events on their parking lot. They've seen a lot of things going on in the industry, whether it's steak cook-offs or ribs or whatever. And I think they're trying to make a serious play in the quality of their beef. They've got their own premium beef through McLaren Farms that 44 Farms helped them create, and they were basically asked my opinion on what can we do to make everyone realize the quality of our beef, because not everyone thinks of Walmart first in Texas for beef. And I told them, well, you got to go to the sources. You got to go to the evangelists. And those are the very talented pitmasters that exist in Texas. And right now we're two beta events through a 4-event beta series that we're trying to prove to them that letting the pitmasters lead the way can pave the road for consumers to realize, oh yeah, this is fantastic beef. This is great. I can get what I need for a fantastic game day barbecue from Walmart. Are they learning that because the pitmasters are cooking the meat in a Walmart parking lot?
They're learning it because they're not only cooking it in the parking lot, but they're using 100% of their ingredients from the Walmart that we're doing it in. So we had 1,500 consumers come through the parking lot Saturday. We had over 300 votes cast by consumers for their favorite barbecue dish, and we had 5 amazing pitmasters. I think it was Jose Hernandez who's related to the Pitmaster Boys. He's been cooking with them for a while. He just branched out. We had Jackie Milligan there. They all just were singing the praises of this McLaren beef. They used dino ribs and beef tenderloin to create people's choice samples, but then dino ribs to create a judge's sample. They had to do 2 different things. So we were able to prove that you could win best of show with this premium beef, and then you can also win the hearts and minds of consumers. And it was a huge success. We did one in Frisco, Texas, and Dallas. or in December. And then we did Houston, and we're going to do one in Austin, and we're going to do one probably in the Dallas region again. So we're working on those last two after the first two that we just did.
Is it more price competitive? Like, what's the win for me to want to go to Walmart instead of calling Mr. Brisket or going online to Pat LaFrida or somebody like that?
You know, that's a great question, and I should probably kick that one to Pitmasters because, as you well know, I'm a marketing guy. I'm not a cook. But
you know good meat when you eat it, right?
I do know that. Yeah. I do. Sticky fingers and all, right? So, first of all, in my opinion, the real secret is the Pitmaster. You know, you give any kind of cut, whether it's Snake River or McLaren Farms or Tyson, whatever it is, you give that to a very talented Pitmaster, talented cook, you're going to get some great food. So I think it becomes a choice. And if the choice is based on affordability, I kind of like Walmart's chances.
Yeah. I mean, I only ask because at this stage, I had asked the question last month about to the Embedded Correspondents if they were, you know, are you knowingly going away from beef because of where price points are right now? And 3 of the 4 of them said, you know, I never even really thought about it until you just asked that question. And now as I'm evaluating it over the last 60 days, yeah, I have made decisions to not buy beef because of where the expense is. And, you know, we've bought it in some other protein. We bought chicken thighs, or we bought pork tenderloin or something along these lines. So if it's a more cost advantageous beef buy, then, you know, I'll throw my stereotypes of Walmart to the wind and go to the beef section and win at beef. And by the way, Walmart, you should be sponsoring my show because I'm giving you free praise. Right. I'm telling you, I would go to a Walmart, and that's saying a lot.
I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. No one has the buying power that Walmart does. So whenever they decide to get focused on a particular industry and make it a feature point, they're going to be someone you should take very seriously. And they've decided to get into the beef game. It doesn't mean that dino ribs from McLaren Farms are going to be the cheapest things for Greg Rempe or Mike McCloud to buy and cook up this weekend. But if you're looking for quality and you're a Pitmaster, their brisket selection is probably going to be a little bit cheaper than what you'd find somewhere else. And if you've got the secret sauce and you got the technique to make it sing, why not save 5, 8, 10% on your ingredients?
Mike McCloud joining us here on the show. Another successful World Food Championships in the book, and we have a Famous Dave's now rolling, and we have this new beta Walmart thing that we were just learning about. Always dropping something new. That's why we love to have him on the show. Mike, always appreciate the time. Continued success, and we will talk sooner than later.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, Greg.
You got it. Mike McCloud right there, and a pro's pro as always. And dropping a little breaking news right there, huh? The Walmart beta could turn into another Sam's Club down the road. They're in a parking lot. I feel like Walmart and Sam's Club have a similar feel. Are they owned by the same people? So, come on. If this pans out, we could see a revival of what everybody has always been talking about. When are we going to get to Sam's Club? This could be it. We'll see if it pans out. All right, before we get to the wrap-up portion of the first hour, I talked to you quickly about our pals at Fireboard. They are the innovators behind the Fireboard 2, the Fireboard Pro Fireboard Spark, Fireboard Beacon, and the wireless Fireboard Pulse. Experience control, total control over all your devices from anywhere in the world when you're using the Fireboard app. Discover more by visiting fireboard.com or use their phone number to ask questions and place orders. 816-945-2232. That's 816-945-2232. And we're back to wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And we thank our pal Mike McCloud for joining us for an extended one-segment interview, basically taking two segments, which is fine. A lot to cover. It had been about 4 months. I think we were leading into World Food Championships last time he was on, or maybe we had just closed out. I believe we had just closed out of World Food Championships, probably a week or so away from it in 2025 was he was on. And if you recall, my middle daughter Maddie's boyfriend Steve, who is currently working on a construction project in Indy till the summertime, whenever, he stumbled across through and or mistakenly got around the 2025 World Food Championship. We had talked the next day. He said, hey, I'm going to buy the thing. There was all these barbecue cookers. I don't even know what was going on. I said, were you by the state fair thing? He said, yeah, I walked right through it. I said, Steve, it was the World Food Championships. You missed it. Maybe this year is the year that I will be at the World Food Championships 2026. And also maybe in calendar year 2027, World Food Championship sends the private jet to BKL to take me down to final table. Hint, hint. Yeah. And by the way, Wal-Mart, if you're listening, I do have a couple open sponsor spots, and I will take your money in lieu of promotion of beef. I like good beef, and I like it at a good price. In a vacuum, that could sound really weird. Not lying. Nobody isolate that. It'll make me sound really weird. WorldFoodChampionships.com is Mike's website if you are into doing it. Has anybody listening, watching tonight, participated in a World Food Championships since its launch in 2012, back in Vegas, no less? If you remember that. Quick update on the YouTube poll question of the week. A would you rather? Would you rather your fingers always feel sticky or your throat always feel itchy? And it is a runaway. 93% of you are saying you would rather have your fingers always feel sticky, and I agree. There was one other email that I was looking for earlier. And maybe I'm just not going to get to it. That's fine. Former embedded correspondent from Tennessee, Steve Ray, sent me pictures of an item. Said, hey, maybe this guy's interested on interview or advertising on your show. I don't want to say anything yet until I touch base with him to see if it's true or not. And then we'll happily talk about it either way. Something I'd never heard of. Something that seems all too gimmicky to this guy. But then Steve sent pictures of him using it, and I said, well, for as gimmicky as it appears, the finished product looks pretty good. So I better reserve judgment and or opinion levying before I talk about it. All right, let's go ahead and... wait. I got to go in here. Well, when you know it, Maddie watching the show tonight. She's not in the instant chat. I just got a text message. Said crazy shout out on the show tonight. Yeah, hey. You never know when you're organically going to make the show by name. You never know. All right, we are pointing to the second hour. Refresh your libations and get ready for a crazy embedded correspondence. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.